Hello, I'm Jay, and this is Relax with Jay. I create calming videos that allow you to relax and or drift off to sleep. If you enjoy my videos and find them helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. I hope you enjoyed this video and may it bring you restful sleep. Tonight, I'll be reading the second and third letter of the book called Frankenstein by Mary Wollstonecraft, Godwin, Shelley. If you enjoy these letters and would like me to read more, please let me know.
Letter 2 to Miss Saville, England. Archangel, 28th March 17. How slowly the time passes here, encompassed as I am by the frost and snow. Yet a second steep is taken towards my enterprise. I have hired a vessel and accompanied in collecting my sailors, whose home I have already engaged appear to be men on whom I can depend and are certainly possessed of dauntless courage. But I have want which I have never yet been able to satisfy, and the obstinance of the object of which I now feel as a most severe evil. I have no friend, Margaret. When I am glowing with the enthusiasm of success, there will be none to participate my joy. If I am assailed by disappointment, no one will endeavor to sustain me in deduction. I shall commit my thoughts to paper. It is true, but that is a poor medium for the communication of feeling. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me, whose eyes could reply to mine. You may deem me romantic, my dear sister, but I bitterly feel the want of a friend. I have no one near me, gentle yet courageous, possessed of a cultivated as well as of a capricious mind, whose tastes are like my own, to approve or amend my plans. How would such a friend repair the faults of your poor brother? I am too adroit in execution and too impatient of difficulties, but it is still greater evil to me that I am self-educated. For the first 14 years of my life, I ran wild, uncommon, and read nothing but our Uncle Thomas's books of voyages. At that age, I became acquainted with the celebrated poets of our own country, but it was only when it had ceased to be in my power to derive its most important benefits from such a conviction that I perceived the necessity of becoming acquainted with more languages than that of my native country. Now, I am 28 and am, in the reality, more illiterate than many schoolboys of 15. It is true that I have thought more than that my daydreams are more extended and magnificent, but they want, as the painters call it, keeping, and I greatly need a friend who would have sense enough not to despise me as a romantic, and affectionate enough for me to endeavor to regulate my mind. Well, these are useless complaints. I shall certainly find no friend on the wide ocean, nor ever here in Archangel. Among merchants and seamen, yet some feelings, unallied to the throes of human nature, beat even these rugged bosoms. My lieutenant, for instance, is a man of wonderful courage and enterprise. He is madly delirious of glory, or rather, to the word, my phrase more characteristically, of advancement in his profession. He is an Englishman, and in the midst of a national and professional prejudice, uncertain by cultivation, retains of the noblest endowment of humanity. I first became acquainted with him on board a whale vessel. Finding that he was unemployed in this city, I easily engaged him to assist in my enterprise. The master is a person of an excellent disposition and is remarkable in the ship for his gentleness and the mildness of his discipline. This circumstance, added to his well-known integrity and dauntless courage, made me very delirious to engage him. A youth passed in solitude, my best years spent under your gentle and feminine fosterage, has so refined the groundwork of my character that I cannot overcome an intense distaste to the usual brutality exercised on board ship. I have never believed it to be necessary, and when I heard from a mariner equally noted for his kindness of heart and the respect and obedience paid to him by his crew, I felt myself peculiarly fortunate in being able to secure his services. I heard of him first in rather a romantic manner, from a lady who owes to him the happiness of her life. This briefly in his story. Some years ago, he loved a young Russian lady of moderate fortune, and having amassed a considerable sum in prize money, the father of the girl consented to the match. He saw his mistress once before the destiny ceremony, but she was bathed in tears, and throwing herself at his feet, entreated him to spare her, confessing at the same time that she loved another, but he was poor, and that her father would never consent to the union. My generous friend reassured the suppliant, and being informed of the name of her lover, instantly abandoned his pursuit. He had already bought a farm with his money, on which he had designed to pass the remainder of his life, but he bestowed the whole on his rival, together with the remains of his prize money, to purchase stock, and then himself solicited the young woman's father to consent to a marriage with her lover. But the old man decidedly refused, thinking himself bound in honor to my friend, who, when found the father inexorable, quitted his country, nor returned until he heard that his former mistress was married according to her inclination. What a noble fable! And you will exclaim, he is so, but then he is wholly uneducated. He is as silent as a Turk, and a kind of ignorant carelessness attends him, which, while it renders his conduct the more astonishing, detracts from the interest and sympathy which otherwise he would commend. Yet, do not suppose because I complain a little, or because I can conceive a consolation for my toils, which I may never know, that I am wavering in my resolution. Those are as fixed as fate, and my voyage is only now delayed until the weather shall permit my embarkation. The winter has been dreadfully severe, but the spring promises well, and it is considered as a remarkable early season, so that perhaps I may sail sooner than I expected. I shall do nothing rashly. You know me sufficiently to confide in my prudence and considerateness whenever the safety of others is committed to my care. I cannot describe to you my sensation on the near prospect of my undertaking. It is impossible to communicate to you a conception of the trembling sensation, half pleasurable and half fearful, with which I am preparing to depart. I am going to unexplored region, to the land of mist and snow, but I shall kill no albatross. Therefore do not be alarmed for my safety, or if I shall come back to you as worn and woeful as the ancient mariner. You will smile at all my illusions, but I will disclose a secret. I have often attributed my attachment to, my passion, enthusiasm for the dangerous mysteries of ocean to the production of the most imaginative of modern poets. There is something at work in my soul which I do not understand. I am practically industrious, painstaking, a workman to execute with perseverance and labor. But besides this, there is love for the marvelous, a belief in the marvelous, intertwined in all my projects, which hurries me out of the common pathways of men, even to the wild sea and unvisited regions I am about to explore. But to return to dear consideration, shall I meet you again after having traversed immense seas and returned by most southern cape of Africa or America? I dare not expect such success, yet I cannot bear to look on the reverse of the picture. Continued for the present to write to me by every opportunity. I may receive your letters on some occasions when I need them most to support my spirit. I love you very tenderly. Remember me with affection, should you never hear from me again. Your affectionate brother, Robert Walton. Letter 3. To Miss Saville, England, July 7th, 17. My dear sister, I write a few lines in haste to say that I am safe and well advanced on my voyage. This letter will reach England by a merchantman now its onward voyage from Angel, more fortunate than I, who may not see my native land, perhaps for many years. I am, however, in good spirits. May my men are bold and apparent firm of purpose, nor do they floating sheets of ice that continually pass us, indicating the dangers of the region towards which we're advancing, appear to dismay them. We have already reached a very high latitude, but it is the height of the summer, and although not too warm as England and the southern gales, which blow us speedily towards those shores which I so ardently desire to attain, breathe a degree of renovating warmth which I do not expect. No incidents will have with their toe falling us that make our figure in a letter. One or two stiff gales and the springing of a leak are accidents which experienced navigators scarcely remember to record, and I shall be well content if nothing worse happen to us during our voyage. Adieu, my dear Margaret. Be assured that for my own sake, as well as yours, I will not rashly encounter danger. I will be cool, persevering, and prudent, but success shall crown my endeavors. Wherefore not? Thus far I have gone, tracing a secure way over the pathless seas, the very stars themselves being witnesses and testimonies of my triumph. Why not still proceed over the untamed yet obedient element? What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of a man? My swelling heart involuntarily pours itself out thus, but I must finish. Heaven bless my beloved sister, R.W.